Hey guys, it's Donnie, Satori Street Mixed Martial Arts. We are the Street MMA Guys. So a lot of people are looking for what is the best martial art for self-defense. And before you can answer that, really I think you need to look at and define what is self-defense. What is a good martial art for self-defense? And what criteria are you going to consider? So I think most people that are interested in self-defense are going on the internet and they're looking for that very question. Which martial art is the best for self-defense? And they're looking at websites, they're reading all these articles, and they're watching tons of YouTube videos. And maybe they even go as far, if they're really serious, and call a couple of school owners and find out about their curriculum and how they teach. Which is great. You're doing research. The thing is, what does the average person know about self-defense? Like, what qualifies you to even judge a good self-defense school when you find it? And if you don't know, how are you going to know? How are you going to know when you find it if you don't know? So, hopefully, though, I can help you out and give you some criteria here to look at when you're doing that search. Alright, so for those weapon folks, to everyone that has a gun or whatever their favorite self-defense tool is, they can, I'm using that. I'm using my self-defense tool, my weapon, my gun, whatever, knife, and I don't need to learn any self-defense techniques with my hands and feet. I got my tool. That's a force multiplier. I mean, I can apply a greater amount of force with my tool than you can with your hands and feet, right? So I get where you're coming from, but just let's stay away from tunnel vision here. Because if you're on a construction site and you're a crew member and you have your tool belt on and all you have on your tool belt is a hammer, then every problem, every situation you go to is going to look like a nail. And you're going to be looking to use your hammer to fix it. Problem is, on the construction site, not every problem needs a hammer. So, same thing with self-defense. If you apply that same tactic to where your self-defense tool is going to be the thing that saves you no matter what, well, that self-defense tool can be the thing that gets you in trouble with the law because you pull it at the wrong time. Because you didn't think through the process and you then applied lethal force by showing your weapon when it wasn't called for. Just so you know, I have nothing against carrying a weapon. I understand that. I carry myself. But you need to understand the times to do it. So if you are going to carry any type of self-defense tool, then you need to make sure you are properly trained and that you understand the times to utilize that weapon and when not to. So that way you don't get yourself in trouble. And in that sense, if you're attacked and you start taking on blows, are you going to go for your weapon, whatever it is, while they're wailing on you? Because that's what they want. That'd be great, because I'm going to knock you out before you get that out. Or are you going to go to the fetal position? You're just going to curl up and hope they go away? Or are you going to fight back? So, obviously I think we ought to fight back. And the way of doing it as far as causing them injury, that's how we're fighting back. We're not fighting back as far as just protecting. Like, yeah, protect, but I need to think of hitting. I want to do something to them to change the tides. So, whether it be a palm, heel, whether we're doing a thumb to the eye, we're kicked to the groin, whatever's open, we need to cause injury. And then if we're wanting to really get to that self-defense tool and feel that's the best option, you can use a knee or use a thrust kick to get that distance, and then now you can bring it out. And now you do whatever you have to do. But understand, any self-defense tool, you need to understand how it works. The pros and cons, the limitations, everything. So with pepper spray, like there's a spray, a gel, and a foam. If you have it, how far away can you hit somebody with it? You need to know that range. You need to know how it's going to react to wind, which will be based on the type of spray it is. So, critical thinking is necessary when dealing with any type of fighting scenario. A weapon is not a magic bullet for all your self-defense scenarios. And that's why you need a critical thinking aspect to it, and why you need to practice different scenarios and understand them. Now, when thinking about having a weapon, a self-defense tool, a lot of that revolves around your clothing, your attire. And you have to be vigilant in where you're going, the buildings that you go into, that sort of thing. How does it fit your lifestyle with your daily activities? It might fit in, it might not. Or you might be able to do it most of the time, but, say 20% of the time you can't. You just need to be aware of that. And during that time, obviously then, you need to have another option to defend yourself besides only holding to that one item, that one tool to help to save you. Like, you can't just have one thing to save you in the self-defense scenario. Going down the internet rabbit hole again here. So you've watched all these videos. How much closer are you to answering your question? To really finding out which martial art is the best one for self-defense? And you might be a little concerned because some of those videos you watched, pretty lame. You're like, I don't want to be one of those guys. I am not Miyagi-Do. Cobra Kai, Eagle Fang all the way, right? So, when you're looking at that, you're like, that can't be me. That is not what I want. So, you might even just cut the idea altogether. Like, I'm not going to do that. So, then not to mention, who wants to go into a class and look stupid? You don't want to be embarrassed in class. But that's a common thing. A lot of people don't sign up. They don't learn how to defend themselves because they don't want to be embarrassed. I understand that. But there are ways around it. And one option would be an online program. So you can still find options to meet your needs. You just have to be open and think it through. And that's what we're trying to help you with here, is to think through this process of finding out what it is you want with self-defense and where to go to get it. What to look for, what to ask. Also, how long do you want to train? How long do you want to go before you get your desired results? And think about that, like what it is that you want. Or what is it that you want? You want to be able to kick ass in life and beat the snot out of anyone who would dare mess with you on the street or one of your loved ones. Then you also want to be able to demand respect in your daily life and have the hottest girl as your girlfriend. That's what you want. So here at Satori Street MMA, we teach all aspects of self-defense. So we're going to cover awareness, how to set boundaries, how to do verbal commands, and how to back those up when someone wants to try and call your bluff. Okay? We need to cover the transitions. You need to understand how to do standing and ground fighting and when not to. Because there is a time that if you try for a transition, for a takedown, that'll get you destroyed. We don't want that to happen, so we go over all those little details. We teach our students to be individuals. So don't expect to see our students doing this perfectly timed katas form that's choreographed where they're all together as one. Like, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and we try to work on those to improve the strength as well as work on the weaknesses to bring them up. Now, you need to ask the hard questions. What is it that you want for martial arts or self-defense? Like, how bad do you want it, or what do you really want? Do you really want self-defense? So you need to ask, define it. What do you want from it? What do you want that school to offer? Now, as you're thinking, if all you give me is an answer of good training, that's crap. So take it off the table and you start over again and think it through. Not to mention, what else do you want? There's more than just physical movements, what you're doing with your body. Like, what else do you want involved in that training? It's not going to be computer programming, but there is going to be confidence and communication is going to be involved. But what else for you do you want in that? And you need to decide on that. Then with the different schools, or when you're looking at them, figure out or ask, what's your curriculum? How do you teach your students? What's the environment? And that can go from, what's the studio look like? What do you wear? A variety. How many students are even in the class? Now, one thing we do here at Satori Street that's a little bit different than others is we regularly take time to train in regular clothes as well as outside, because that's where you're going to encounter your attack typically, is out on the street. You're not going to be on a nice padded mat or a nice wood floor barefoot in a gi. I received a message from a student of mine a while back. We'll call his name John. So John been training with me for a while, and then he was moving to go to the university. So he's out there enjoying life and whatnot, and he's got his girlfriend. Well, they go to the bar, and then as they're leaving the bar, 3 guys start to approach. So he doesn't have really any time to react. Like, he's just there. He has to just respond in the moment. So he has his girlfriend just run in the opposite direction. And then he's able to do just a couple things to keep them off of him and putting him in the hospital to where he can get away. And he was able to get away successfully. He just had a few bumps and bruises, nothing serious. But he sent me that message to thank me for the training, because it was enough to get him out of a dangerous situation, and it didn't become a major life event as far as being hospitalized or even death. So that's what we're looking for, is self-defense. You're just looking to make it to the next day. You don't need to be showboating. It's not going to be this movie theatrical event. You just take care of what needs to be taken care of, and you move on. So what I would suggest is take 10 to 15 minutes and go on a walk. And while you're out on the walk, think about the questions I mentioned earlier. What is it that you really want out of martial arts and self-defense? If you decide it's just a hobby, or, and that's fine. You want the competition side? Great. Do that. Just figure out what it is you want. So like, subscribe, contact us with any questions. If you are serious about self-defense, contact us and set up an appointment, and we will discuss a training program for you. Again, my name is Donnie with Satori Street Mixed Martial Arts. We are the Street MMA Guys. We believe in our mission statement. Life is worth fighting for. Fight for it.